Welcome back to just another car show. My name is Sam, and today we are back here working on our S13 backyard drift build. This car last episode finally got brakes, and it can now stop. But what it can't do is drive. We today are going to be putting an engine in this S13. Now, I don't know if we've actually talked about what engine platforms we were thinking about putting into this car. This car actually came with motor mounts originally for a KA. We thought about putting an SR in it. Very popular, obviously, for a 240. We even thought about stuff like K-Series. And going with like a bar engine or something else that would have been really, really cool in this car. But we want to be able to take our drifting much further past grassroots, and the best engine platform for that seems to just be the LS engine. A motor like this costs us 250 bucks. A motor like the full built one we have over there costs us $800 with the full front assembly, wiring, starter, everything. The expensive part is all the bits and bobs around it, and we don't want to spend a lot of money over here, so we are trying to figure out the best way of doing this in the cheapest way possible. The most expensive parts are the oil pan and like the cross member braces for the transmission and so on and so forth. All that stuff we're doing ourselves. This is a motor mount. We had to buy this. I don't have the fabrication skills to create a motor mount like this that I think is gonna be solid enough to do the crazy amount of drifting and pressure we're gonna put against this car. So this was something important. You also need to brace the frame too before you put an LS in there. So we did power bracing yesterday, as well as some bracing underneath the front K member. Now it is time to figure out our oil pan situation. And that's where this motor is gonna come in. This motor is dead to us in reality. We have pistons for it, we could rebuild it, but what's the point in that? This is gonna become a test motor for us. So what we're gonna do is this motor is actually gonna go into the car today with these mounts on it, and then we are going to measure for an oil pan. A Sickie oil pan's like $750, and we don't wanna spend that much. A standard oil pan might be in the hundreds or even the low 200s. So we'd rather modify one or make one ourselves or something of that sort. So we're gonna mount this engine in, use a set of calipers, and start to measure out what type of oil pan we can fit in this thing, and then do some research and order one. I do want to show you guys a couple problems we might run into that I think would be interesting so that you understand why we are doing a test fit before we throw the whole thing in, and also not just ordering parts that work. One, this sway bar here is right where an oil pan in theory would sit. So the Sickie one actually cuts out for this, like this, makes it a little smaller. We might end up removing this, and we actually have a new one that we're gonna put in. So we're gonna see if it mounts in a different spot or if it's exactly the same profile as this one. Then obviously we have this huge cross member right here. The motor mounts are obviously right here and right here. The oil pan has to sit in behind or in front of that. And I mean, it should fit in here. It's fit in plenty of 240s. We're not the first one to do this. I will say, I am very impressed with the frame rail to frame rail clearance on this car. Because even on a car like my Mustang over here, this distance is pretty damn short. So this is a pretty big engine bay, and I'm really interested to see once we get the LS in here, how much room we actually have, because I think it's gonna be a lot. Okay, wow, motor mounts are down. Let's release some pressure. Wow, it didn't. Holy shit, there's a motor in the car. Oh my God. I'm really glad this power brace is not in the way that I built, because it is about an inch. It looks so tiny. It's so tiny. Holy shit. This makes me want to put a set of heads on this thing so bad, and the intake, and see what it's gonna look like, because holy shit, I am so excited. This is the coolest thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I might do that at the end of the day. Definitely some clearance things are gonna be fun. This steering shaft is gonna be a really fun thing to figure out at some point in time. It is clearanced. If there's any way of showing this easily. The height of it from the actual steering rack and all that is actually pretty good, but definitely gonna have some weird problems with this sway bar here. This sway bar is very in line where this oil pan is gonna need to go, I think. So I think what we're gonna do is I have a new sway bar we're gonna put in the front, which I've had for a while. And I think that it might be a little bigger than this one, like comes out further. So we're gonna try to put that one on real quick, and then we're gonna make our measurements and see what happens with it all. But honestly, it fits pretty freaking well. The bell housing is gonna be a little on the tight side, but we're gonna have that soon and mount that up as well. Yeah, I mean, these mounts, they mount great. Hey, I mean, this whole engine is just being held in with those two motor mounts and nothing else. So it's keeping it pretty straight. I was a little worried about being a little like rocky, but it seems pretty solid. I'm just so blown away at how tiny this thing is. Like, it looks like the LSs were made to go in 240s. I mean, that's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Let's pull this sway bar out and get our new one in, and I'll show it to you and explain to you why we went with this new sway bar and are getting rid of this sway bar. So let's get that done. Got a lot more clearance, like another, adds like an inch-ish to it, I think. Okay, well, let's put this guy in then. Also, I did want to say this is the bar from GK Tech. This is their low profile sway bar. And it's pretty cool because it uses a spline system, which I'll show you later once we do the whole front suspension, that curves in instead of out. That way there's more clearance for your wheel to like come in. So this is a really nice piece of kit. So I'm gonna mount this guy up, get a better idea of the clearance, and yeah, that should help a lot. Yeah, that gave like a definitely at least another inch. That's gonna make an oil pan fit in here way easier. I think we're gonna be able to fit one of the Holley ones. Okay, let's figure this shiz out. Okay, ladies and gents, it is arts and crafts time. So we've got things we need to figure out how to clearance on this engine. We're gonna be using some cardboard, pencil, and some calipers and some measuring tapes to figure out where we can fit things, because it is tight in here. Really, really tight. First things first, now how wide is this boy? I'm gonna call it 11-ish inches. This is how it goes. So, get a pencil cap out of my mouth. So what we gotta figure out is how far back we can start our rear sump if we had a rear sump in theory. If I stand right underneath of it, about 4 inches. How far down is this? 5 1/4. Okay, I'm gonna say 9 1/4 inches from the front by 3 1/2 or 4 inches. 9 1/4. 3 1/2 or 4. Trying to go do some research. Woo! This is my little graphic I made. It's cute. Not super accurate, obviously, but I think it's good enough for what we're doing. So what we need to do is go online and see if we can find a pan that matches these specs. We know that Siki makes a pan that will fit in this car with all this going on, but we just don't want to spend the money on it. So we're gonna see if they make a cheaper one. Okay, so I found an oil pan that I think might work. Sorry for the helicopter, because it's LA. It might sit a little too low, but we're gonna find out once we get it. I think that it might be okay. There's actually very slim pickings online for front sump, low profile oil pans. And some of them just don't have dimensions and they don't have any labels of what it is. So I think that we're just gonna have to buy one and see what happens. I think we're gonna be okay. I won't really know until I get it fully in, but I think we're gonna be fine. But while I'm ordering that, we need to figure out some other stuff on this car. I have a Mishimoto radiator that we got that was for like a KA build. I wanna see if it fits, because if it fits, then we won't have to get a new radiator, and I will at least try to use this one for the meantime. And if it's not big enough, then we'll get a bigger one later. But I want to try it. It has fans on it already, so it should be pretty chill. I think I'm gonna try something else at the end here to end out the video. But so yeah, let's get that that radiator all mocked up and see what it looks like. I don't know whether this is a 2 or 3 core radiator. It is what it is. Oh, it's gonna fit. Oh my gosh. Wow, it actually fits really well. I'll have to show you guys this. Let me go grab you. Okay, so this is the radiator. And as you can see, there is clearance. Yeah, that's gonna fit. As long as none of the accessories stick out too far, I think I'm gonna be okay. I will have to build a bracket that comes up from those pipes that come to here to hold this up against this like this. But that's all I should have to do, and then this is pretty much in. Okay, I'm gonna do one more thing because I really, really wanna see this tonight before I stop. I want to see what this looks like with some heads and an intake on it, because you guys haven't seen what intake's going on this, but I have, and I just want to show you because it is so cool. Holy shit. This looks so cool. Obviously nothing's mounted down correctly right now and the intake's just sitting on top, but oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. So story's out, we're going with Aces. We have not tested this yet. We have no idea how well this works. I've heard tunability is really hard, but I am really excited. This thing looks sick. It looks like we spent a lot more money than we did on this intake and all this stuff. And this also has a bunch of other stuff with it too that we haven't gotten to yet, that we will get to eventually. It's not time yet. I just really needed to see it like this, with this big old throttle body and sitting it in this car. I mean, it's been a long time since we started this car, and for it to have a motor in it is crazy. And looking like this is even crazier. Wow, 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 wow. I just want to show how well this fits in this car. Like, it's so chill. There's so much room on this side. There's not as much on this side, but there's still a decent bit. It's crazy. This is just so cool. Oh, I can't get over it. Seeing an LS in this 240 really is kind of crazy to me. Like, we've had this car now for a couple years and it's been a really slow roll and we're moving on it now. Like, it's gonna be done very, very soon, but it has been a long, long road getting to a point where an engine is sitting in this car, and specifically an LS engine. And I cannot get over how sick this looks, and I can't wait for this thing to make fun noises like wah, 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 wah. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, we have a ton of videos up here that we've been making on tons of different cars, ranging from rotaries to muscle cars to other 240s that are way nicer than this one. Please go check those videos out, and I hope you stick around because this series is not over. There is a lot more happening in the coming weeks, where this is once the oil pan gets in, we are gonna put the headers on, we're gonna mount the heads permanently, everything's gonna happen, and this car is gonna be starting soon and then drifting really soon because we already have a transmission, which I'll show you next episode.